If you talk to any confident person that you know right now and you ask them how did they get so confident, they'll probably tell you about a time when they weren't as confident and nobody really wanted to talk to them because they just weren't an interesting person. But then as the years went on, they went and challenged themselves more, they pushed themselves out of their comfort zone, and now eventually they were a bigger, better, stronger, more confident person. So imagine if they didn't do those things. Do you really think they would be where they are now? Do you really think they would still be just as confident today? That confident person needed to seek discomfort in order to push himself out of his comfort zone and to make sure that he knows how to act around people, because how else was he gonna improve his social skills? So as a prime example of this, I want to tell you about a kid who I see at school, and not to diss him or anything, but his comfort is literally devaluing him as a person. So I go to high school, right? And I always see this one kid that's outside, I'm facing the window, and he's always watching YouTube while he's eating, and he never ever talks to anyone. He's always on the table by himself alone eating food, which is kind of sad. And even when it's like ridiculously cold outside, he will still be out there just watching videos, avoiding confrontation, avoiding trying to talk to anyone, because I'm assuming he just doesn't have any friends in that lunch period. So this went on for weeks and weeks, and it still does. He's still the same person doing the same things. But I remember this one day, these two kind of like extroverted girls, they walked up and they were like, hey, and he was, it just by the looks of it, he didn't really look like he was very interested. He was still like sucked into his video, you know, just trying to enjoy his lunch, but he wasn't cooperating. And over the course of the lunch, they were just talking together, and he could have just, you know, jumped in the conversation or said something, and they even asked him questions, but he just kept on giving vague responses. So eventually they left, and I remember this time when they actually left, he didn't even say goodbye because he was just so focused on his video. They waved to him goodbye and he didn't say anything. And I understand, because he probably kind of looks like a freshman. He's just a little bit, you know, smaller. But that doesn't really excuse why he should just be sitting alone and literally ignoring people over videos for comfort. Like, I think he needs to project himself more if he wants to be someone that's more confident and have actually friends in high school. Because if you live a life of comfort like him, it's just going to be a boring place, first of all, and second of all, you're going to be miserable over time. So that is exactly why I encourage the viewer of this video to actively seek discomfort. By doing that, by actively seeking discomfort, you're always pushing past your limits about everywhere you go. And I have countless examples of this, and I think my best example is probably YouTube. This whole YouTube thing, it was a big mental barrier for me, because I know I wanted to make some sort of online income, but I didn't want to, you know, project myself out there. I knew that YouTube is probably the best way to put yourself out there and make money, but I just didn't want to do it because I was just too insecure about what people would think of me and how my channel would do and if I would be viral or not, and just so many other limiting beliefs. And most of all, I thought I was gonna be made fun of, which I still kind of do by my friends. It's a little bit of teasing, and I still don't like it, obviously, but it's not that big as what I thought it was. And even when I uploaded my first video, I shared it to my friends. They were actually pretty impressed that I put in the work towards it. Even then, they just made fun of me like 3 hours later. It was still something that was nice to see. But even then, at the end of the day, you're still gonna get criticized for what you do. So why not have it be something that you're passionate about and something that you want to make money off of, instead of just something that you don't like? So eventually what I did was I just started recording a video. I saw an opportunity in spring break, so I just said every day I'm gonna work an hour or more on YouTube. So I researched, I recorded, I edited, and I reached my goal as uploading a video on a Sunday at the very end of spring break. And surprisingly, almost all of those thoughts were gone. I mean, now all my thoughts were focused on, okay, how can I grow this channel? How can I make sure that this is sustainable? And how can I make sure this betters me as a person? And pretty much all of those limiting beliefs, they only came on in certain areas instead of all the time. And I think if you just do it, and if you just push past your limit, it's not going to be that traumatizing or difficult for you. I did want to bring up one more big example on how, actively seeking discomfort can do big things for you. I was reading the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. Great book so far. And he was bringing up another one of his comfort challenges, and it was probably the biggest one that I've seen yet. He literally asked us to go ahead and find an attractive girl and ask for their number, which I have never done ever in my life. Usually I just meet people as friends and then it gets into bigger things, but I've never done this ever before. I can remember my friends, they were always pushing me to do it, but I just chickened out because I just didn't want the discomfort, or I just didn't want to embarrass myself, which is stupid now that I think about it. But I looked at it and I was like, okay, yeah, I could probably do this. So I called my friend and we planned something to go to the mall the next weekend, and we were there and it was time to go and try to get some girls' numbers. So of course this dumbass picked a terrible time to go. So it was like 5 p.m. and there was like barely anyone there. So we were just running around like chickens trying to find someone. But eventually in like the last few hours, we just decided we wanted to go eat when we were hungry. And then I was just all like, okay, let's try another time. Let's come back. Let's go eat. And he just didn't give up. So the perfect opportunity struck. So we found the perfect person at the perfect opportunity that we were talking about that. And he just told me to go ask for that person's number. And it took me a few seconds of self-doubt and hesitation, but eventually I went up. This is kind of how it looked like because I didn't know he was gonna record me. But yeah, I stuttered a little bit, but I think I remembered the line that Tim put in the book to help me guide of how to, actually ask for the number. And it didn't really go so bad. I mean, she actually gave me her number, but the unfortunate thing was I saw her sister after that and she told me she had a boyfriend, so she didn't reply after that. But honestly, the whole point of that wasn't even to get girls' numbers. The whole point of that was a comfort challenge, and that was to push you outside of your comfort zone and stop fearing the question of, will this embarrass me and will this person think bad of me, because you're never gonna see them in your life, so what does it matter? And even after all that like anxiety of asking someone out, dude, I want to do it again, because now after I've already done it before, I know kind of how to approach them, and I think that I can improve, and I think that this is actually something that I can get better at. So if I actually see someone that I might want to date in the future, then I can just go boom, ask like that, and I don't have to hesitate. And better yet, my friend wanted to crack at it too. So he went to a cashier, he thought it was cute, and he literally pulled me aside before he asked her, and he was like, okay, what do I say? So I just pep talked to him for a little bit, and he went up and he got her number, and turns out they're actually both nerds, so they hit it off well, and they're still even now talking a lot. So I think that's a pretty good confidence booster for him. And by the way, you don't always have to be pushing outside of your comfort zone and actively seeking discomfort and actively embarrassing yourself, because realistically that's not what you should do. What I'm saying is, when you see an opportunity, you should go and get it. That is a key part of success in life. Like, if you want a job, you should go get it. If you want advice from a successful person, go email them, go ask. No one's gonna do it for you. And if you need that information, go ask them. If you're so afraid of discomfort, you're not gonna push yourself to where you actually wanna be in life eventually. That's why I would like to encourage you to actively seek discomfort. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up today's video. So like, subscribe, do the thing if you haven't already, and yeah, keep moving forward.